And again, I have solace in this. If this evil is able to win, all of you that have served it will be forced to admit you were wrong as you are hurt by it. Any of you that think you can serve this system and gain power out of it, you're fools. You cannot make a deal with the devil. And you know in your heart the devil's real. You know that evil force is real. You can feel it right now. The devil is weak, but you think he's strong, so you run to the devil. The devil tricks you. You know, you have that archetypal story in all cultures of selling your soul to the dark forces for power. That's a trick. The devil comes to you. I'm going to give you a deep secret here. The devil comes to you when you're a child, and you have that mystery and imagination and that sense that you're part of an incredible species with an incredible destiny and an incredible mission. And here is this bland, fake world built around you to make you feel small, to make you feel disempowered, or to make you feel inadequate so they can get you to accept their download of weakness and lies in the belief that you'll gain power out of it. The devil comes to your spirit and speaks to your heart and says, I will give you power. You sense that power. You sense that magic, that majesty. You sense that destiny. You sense the figure 8 of infinity and the universe, the heartbeat of creation. That's my heartbeat. I've got that. I've got it. I've got it. Serve me and I'll give you power. And then if you get power through twisted evil, it was the power God had already given you turned over to the devil as you pull his chariot, as you pull his train. And you think that power comes from the devil. That power came from the Creator that set it all in motion. And you let the devil hack your soul and turn you like a zombie computer over to the service of darkness. The devil's black rage is only a gross, weak copy of one tiny element of the Creator. All the power, all the discernment, all the majesty, all the electricity, the rivers of life, the creation, the smiling children, the singing, the autumn wind on your cheek, the moonrise. It's all just the beginning of the Creator. It's all just the beginning of the untold, unbelievably unimaginable power. The devil didn't give you power. The Creator gave you the power, and you let the devil steal it and harness you. You are a slave. It is pathetic. You are a loser. That power you think you have, that dark flame of evil you worship at, is a stunted, twisted, microscopic husk of what you would have been. And that is what's so pathetic and so sad, that you will never taste, those that have fully turned yourselves over to evil, those that have persecuted the innocents with pleasure. The door is closed on you. And you think I revel in your destruction? It's another victory for the black hole that is the devil. Another soul twisted and torn down. Another beautiful creation. Another spirit shining in flame, destroyed, made dark, because you chose evil. You chose to serve the dark side, and you are torn down. You were broken. You were thrown down from the sky and smashed into the ground into 1,000 ugly little pieces. And you sit there looking at the ugly remnants of what you would have been. And you see the reflection of God shining off the dark surface, and you think that's God as you hold up a little chunk of evil in front of you and stare into it. Oh, the power of Satan. Oh, the power of it. A tiny reflection of the entire universe around you. Fools! Fools! Fool! Fool! Ah! And as we wind on down the road, our shadows taller than our souls. know what that means? You never knew what your soul was to begin with. You traded your soul for a lie. You traded your birthright for nothing. You got conned. So go ahead. Sell out to the New World Order and go to some functions and have important people shake your hand and feel like you've arrived. Couldn't pay me to be around those people. You couldn't pay me to sell out. God Almighty could say, I'm going to throw you into hell if you don't join the devil. God would never do that. And I'd say, then throw me into hell. I will not join the devil. I would burn in hell forever to make sure evil was defeated. I would be killed and tortured and anything to stand against these people. Not because I'm even a good person on the surface, but because in my heart I know there is no making a deal with this. There is no making a deal with it. It doesn't want to make a deal. It wants to hurt you. It wants to pull you down. It wants to hurt everything that's good. There is no choice but to become a servant of good. There is no choice. There is no choice. How could there be a choice? How could you ever want to serve evil? How could you ever? I know why. Programmed from birth. They want to make us automatons. But that human spark, made in the image of the Creator, will defeat it. All right. I'm ranting. I've got a lot of news to get to. We have a big show today, and I've got so much news, and I want to take your phone calls as well. It's very exhausting to stare into reality. I know why people buy into facsimiles of reality, because they're much smaller, they're much thinner. It's like a lake that's 1,000 miles across but half an inch deep. Looks expansive, but it's like a facade at a movie set, like where they film Stagecoach or something. But the real thing, that's the difference. It's like a soundstage for a movie of Monument Valley versus being out at sunup or sundown in the middle of Monument Valley on horseback, Monument Valley, Utah. It's the difference of being in some stale, quiet, musty, dead building with a painting on the wall that isn't even done very good because it's meant to be blurred in the background with a long focus or whatever you call it. It's the difference of being in there, sitting on a bench, and a roach walks by, and you're just sitting there in a hot, dusty building, nobody's around, looking at a painting on the wall, versus the cool night air and the stars and being in Monument Valley. That's the difference between good and evil. Because evil is not a creator, and it wants to be, but all it can create is death, destruction. All it can do is screw things up. And it wants it all, and it wants it now. And again, you could say, oh, there is no good and evil. Oh, it's all just instincts. Oh, it's all just genetics. Oh, it's all predisposed. Oh, it's already going to happen. But you know in your heart that's not true. You know from all your experiences in life that's not true. Okay, when I come back, this story is red linked at the Drudge Report. We had it on yesterday, and I should have got him to talk more about it. He's like, I wasn't even going to talk about this, but it happened. I live out in the middle of nowhere, a very rural area, you know, between a hoot and a holler. Joseph Farah had one of the weed eater drones, police drones, fly over and look at him. He was out walking his dog, didn't have a camera. And there's the kind of harassment goes on. Travis County helicopter people, I don't know, like 14 years ago were outrageous. I was trying to get the funding cut for new helicopters, so they went to my parents' house because for whatever reason, that's where I'm listed as living, even though I've never lived at the house that they still live at, that they've lived at for like 20 years. I guess at some point I had mail sent there when I was in college or something. And so they came there, flew about 20 feet off the ground, flipped my mother off, Then they found out where I was staying one night with my girlfriend, now married to her, and came over there and came right down and shined lights right in the windows the next night. I mean, it's just like, so that's what this is all about. Spy drone buzzes journalist secluded home. And we'll get into TSA, the most insane thing they've done yet, but it makes perfect sense if you know why they're doing it. Let me ask you a question. Let me just get to TSA first. New TSA policy, they're just now announcing it. It's been going on 3 years. I've witnessed it. My entire crew that flies has seen it. New TSA policy, ordering travelers to freeze on command. That is new. The, quote, new policy that is really not new is TSA explains bizarre new policy of testing drinks purchased in airports. Agency claims it is attempting to be unpredictable. Yeah, like being out in the parking lot of the airport now or on highways. Yeah, you're unpredictable. The Homeland Security just set up a group who have 80 hours of training and aren't sworn or bonded or under the Constitution. The FBI can't do what you do, but you can do everything. People ask, well, how did Hitler have brown shirts before he was even in office, run around, beat people up? Because he had the giant force and just did it. We're being run over. And every time we're going to protest and opt out or get in their face, they stand down because they're guerrillas, guerrilla warfare. They're attacking us. When we flee, they pursue. When we pursue, they flee. When we attack, they pull back. When we're asleep, they attack, okay? Everything they do is warfare. I don't just say that. They're following warfare programs. You see them in the news going, it's not attacks, but they admit it's attacks. Never mind. Oh, well, they say there's no drones, but they're admitting the drones. Well, everything they do is what an occupying army would do. You know, they declassified it about 20 years ago. I showed it last year on air. Clips of Army psychological occupation. And we played clips of it on air. It's on YouTube. There's hours of it. And it talks about the U.S. taking over a third world country and helping suppress the population. And they're fighting communists in this case, but the tactics are exactly what authoritarians would use as well. And it's all real creepy where they talk about psychological warfare and lying to people and they giggle and it's fun. It's meant for troops to watch it and think being a weird, creepy, lying person is good. Again, like Jack Bauer torturing people's children to get answers and he's always right. This is so twisted. How they seduce people over to evil by increments. And they're now saying that they want to be unpredictable. Read the article at Infowars.com. But TSA has attempted to explain a way of bizarre expansion where you go through the checkpoint. And I've seen it. While I'm sitting there eating barbecue and got a ice water, and they walk over and start swabbing people's drinks and taking them away and saying, take a drink of that. Inside, at the food courts. And see, because it's all fake. The people that drive on the airport with the food deliveries, just swipe a card. Anybody could be down at their dock, knock them on the head, drive in with a thing full of C4. But there aren't real terrorists, ladies and gentlemen. Almost all of it's manufactured. Even when a real jihadi attacks you, usually they were funded up the line by the globalists on record. On record. On record. And they always sell a tyranny on an unpopular minority first. But in all the manuals that good police and military send us, who's it always really about? People that don't like the New World Order. People that say that there's a global banking cartel that's going to bankrupt the world and bring in a planetary regime. Ooh, wait, all those ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center reports the last 15 years, it all came true. In fact, we've got to do a project where we get all their old writings that are public. Cops ought to do this. I know you got even more than we got. Send them all to us. I'll do a whole show with them and read stuff from 5-10 years ago. That's exactly what happened. This crazy Jones believes that they'll be using military on the streets. He's dangerous, wants to kill you. This Ron Paul believes that there's a world government being set up by banks that own the Federal Reserve, and the derivatives will cause a collapse. These people are fearmongers and dangerous and are linked to cop killing. Next. And, of course, all of it came. We're the enemy because we got it. We're the enemy because we're awake. We're the enemy because we're all that's standing between the American people and people of the world and total world dictatorship and mass extermination.